Hi, welcome back to ASUG News. I'm Gina Marchese. I have with me here today ASUG CEO Bridgette Chambers and Lisa Leslie, the Leadership 2.0 team captain, four-time gold Olympic medalist, and WNBA All-Star. Welcome today.
Thank you.
We're going to talk a lot today about Leadership 2.0. It's a tremendous initiative that we launched this year. Talked a little bit about in the keynote. There's a lot going on this afternoon, and I wonder, Bridgette, it's been a year since you launched Leadership 2.0. Can you share what the year's been like so far?
It's been fantastic. I mean, you know, this went from concept to reality literally overnight, mostly because of Lisa's leadership. I mean, she's been fantastic. She's been plugged in. People really gravitate towards her message. But I think the best thing is that people really find that this is helping them. I'm being stopped in the halls by people saying, my project has been different because I'm learning how to really nurture my leadership skills. And you just can't ask for more than that.
Excellent. Lisa, how has been your first year leading the team? Team captain, you've experienced that in your previous roles, but this is a little different in the business arena. How's it been?
It's been great having the opportunity to be the team leader, and I think the fact that I've been a leader on the court in basketball and also in business as a co-owner, but I think it's been different to try to articulate that in my writing, in my blogs, communicating with so many followers. It's been a different experience, but I really learned to actually sharpen my own leadership skills just through trying to articulate what it takes to be a good leader, what it takes to be a good teammate, what it takes to motivate others as you've worked. And I really enjoyed the feedback from all the SAP members as well as the ASUG members, and probably nurturing all the relationships business-wise.
Well, speaking of feedback, Leadership 2.0 is more than a community. It's also a website. We have resources online. Tell us about some of the feedback you're receiving about the website, about the experience. You mentioned you're getting stopped in the hall, but can you share some additional specifics about that feedback? How are they loving the website?
Sure. Well, the genesis was a panel discussion that took place at this very event a year ago. And since then, just as you said, we've launched it into a website with moderators that are ASUG volunteers, with Lisa's leadership and a great deal of content and resources. So the feedback has been fantastic. People are really appreciating the opportunity to, in a just-in-time perspective, reach out and grab what they need, but they also feel that they can be more studious about it and focus on it from a long-term perspective. So we're very excited about the feedback that we're getting. It's been great.
Well, I know the feedback also dictates some of the topics that are covered on Leadership 2.0, and we're talking a lot about change this week, particularly today with our panel at noon and our breakout session at 3. Why, Lisa, do you think change is so important for this, for Leadership 2.0 to cover?
Well, I really think change is important because we're constantly changing as people, whether we're talking about from an individual personal level or from a business level, but also technology is constantly changing around us. So you either got to get moving or you get left behind, so to speak. And I think it's great to learn from each other. When you talk about change, some of us deal with it in positive ways, other people find it negative, you know, if they don't like to adjust to change. But I think the best thing about change is the fact that we get a chance and opportunity to dialogue and learn from each other. And that's probably been the biggest thing, where you can learn how people adjust and change and what they do in their companies, what they're doing on their personal level. And overall, change is going to happen, so you just might as well get used to it.
That's fair. Now, Leadership 2.0 didn't start and end in a year, so what do you have planned? What do you see for the future of Leadership 2.0?
A lot more. With Lisa's continued leadership, we see an opportunity to take this to a local level. We've seen a lot of growth from our local chapters and our face-to-face meetings, and so we'd like to be able to take this to a local level and benefit individuals that might not be able to make it to a big event such as the annual conference in Sapphire. We also see an opportunity to be more innovative about the way we provide a virtual service. We're looking at opportunities for interactive talk shows. We're looking for opportunities to be more real time with chat and with other collaborative tools. So more to come, but it's all going to be very exciting, and it's all going to be focused around nurturing the leader in an SAP professional.
You know, ASUG is seen as a user community, but this really seems to tie to professional development. So tell me, why do you think it's important for a user community to talk a lot about leadership and professional development?
Sure. Well, I think it's our job to comprehensively, to completely provide support to every SAP customer that's out there. And while I think ASUG is rock solid when it comes to providing content, education, events, networking, influence, our core competencies, I think the thing that in the past has been overlooked or perhaps assumed is that leadership is something that everybody comes to the table with. And while I think everybody comes to the table with the potential to be a good leader, it must be nurtured It has to be learned. It's something that people have to really get comfortable in their own skin and be able to help people not just understand what the plan is, but how to move forward and be motivated to execute. And that's really what Leadership 2.0 does. So I see it as not only a value add for ASUG members, but I see it as an imperative for us to ensure that every ASUG member is not only on target with their content and their education, but on target with their ability to lead. And that's what we intend to continue to provide.
You know, it's a really great transition to the question I have for Lisa about leading by example. You shared a little bit in our previous question about how much you're learning as a leader as well. How critical do you think that is as leaders to lead by example, and what's your experience?
Well, I think it just comes down to the old adage, if you're going to walk the walk, you know, talk the talk, then you should walk the walk, and it's very important for you not only to lead by example, but a lot of times people ask me, wow, how are you able to do the things that you're doing, or how are you able to reach such success? And I think it's important. I follow the same guidelines that I advise to all the other followers, or even when I blog. Setting goals has been huge for me, and I'm always encouraging people to set their own individual goals before you even get to your business goals or your team goals. Your own individual goals are important, because if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're more likely to give it your all. And that's what I just keep, you know, in the forefront of my mind is, am I passionate about what I'm doing? And if I am, I'm going to do a great job. Then I'm also hopefully going to be contagious to my other teammates and say, hey, this is what our goal is. Let's work together. How can I help you? So I think it's important when you're just talking about reaching out to others and achieving your goals, and also adapting to change. All of that's all encompassing about really trying to be the best you, setting those goals, and then making sure other people are also able to give.
Bridgette, you talked a lot about goals in your keynote. And Leadership 2.0 was mentioned as part of your strategy for ASUG. Can you tell us a little bit more about your vision?
Sure. Well, we have 3 strategic priorities that we laid out last year, and during the keynote we talked about immense progress that we've been able to make in all 3 areas. One key area is staying focused on innovation and our core competencies. And by providing innovations like ASUG News, like Leadership 2.0, we're clearly demonstrating that we're committed to that and that we're able to deliver that type of innovation to SAP customers. So I think that's very important. But when you think about goals, it goes deeper than just rolling out a program. It's about commitment, and it's about making sure that the programs are substantive. And I can't tell you how pleased and proud I was yesterday during Bill's keynote to see Ace Hardware, to see Coinstar, to hear the shout out to Harley, all incredible ASUG members. And these are folks that are leading by examples. Those CEOs were talking about program goals that they had put together, executed on, and it had brought immense value to their shareholders. That's what SAP does for companies, and that's how ASUG supports its members, is by being able to help with that. And by driving leadership, of course, we know that we're refining all the small edges and making sure that everybody's ready to go.
That sounds great. The program has been very successful. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us at ASUG News. Stay tuned for additional broadcasts throughout the day. Visit asugnews.com for more information and access our replays.